And Bangladesh, whether it knows it or not, right now is in the middle of an information war. And I'm sorry to tell you, you're losing that war. I don't worry that the White House or the State Department is going to fall for the lies being spread by the apologists for the previous dictator and their international supporters. They'll rely on the reporting from our embassy in Dhaka. I'm confident of that. But many other people, including people who have a voice in foreign policy formulation, may fall for those lies. So part of the role of diplomats and part of the role of embassy is to speak truth and to not make up disinformation to counter disinformation, but to speak the truth. So how do we do that? How does an embassy, how does a diplomat report faithfully to Washington? We talk to people, right? We're living here in this country, and I've always maintained that the moment a diplomat arrives in a country, they automatically know more than everyone in Washington. But we only know those things not because we sit in a big red fort in Gulshan and play tennis at an American club or read a newspaper. We do that because we get to know people. We have conversations like this and thousands of other conversations. And we need to have all sides and all perspectives. So again, you'll often hear that the U.S. Embassy or a certain individual is biased towards a particular side because maybe somebody takes a snapshot of a moment in time and sees them sitting with a former minister of a certain government or representative of another. And then there's an aha moment that this embassy is an agent of this party. Again, nothing could be farther from the truth. I prided myself during my time here, and I know the same for Bill, that we engage with people from across Bangladesh's political spectrum, civil society, the business community, to learn as much as we could, to kind of check things against each other, because surprise, surprise, not everyone in Bangladesh agrees, not just on opinions, but on facts sometimes. So our role in what we did at the embassy was to try to gain the most accurate picture, report that to Washington, and give advice on how U.S. policies could be formulated based on that information to achieve the goals for which we've set out. I do not see any U.S. interest that is served by an autocratic, despotic, kleptocratic regime. That's a false choice. Those who've argued in the past that for stability, you need to have an autocratic government and ignore human rights abuses and ignore democracy being denied. Again, I think that they are serving their own interest. Autocrats like the world to be filled with other autocrats. So when I hear somebody like a leader of a country that does not have elections, that does not respect human rights, be nostalgic for the days when Bangladesh was also ruled by a leader who was not interested in what was in the best interest of her people and who was interested in perpetuating her own and her inner circle's rule, I understand what the game is. They don't want the light to be shown on them, and they're worried about how their own populations will react. From the United States perspective, I think a strong, prosperous, democratic Bangladesh that respects human rights and advances prosperity is a better friend and partner for the United States. I think it's a model in the Indo-Pacific for others to emulate. And as there's a competition in the Indo-Pacific between a Chinese model and an American or Western model, I think Bangladesh, just by the success of this experiment, does more than 1,000 military bases on St. Martin's Island would ever do to advance U.S. objectives in the Indo-Pacific region.